I can do this because it's somewhat light outside. Ah! Look at the scenery, bruh. Look at the scenery. Jesus.
12 years old, my family and I moved to a new house.
Wow.
Even though it was a beautiful house,
In the middle.
I was scared of it.
In the middle of no.
Especially my parents' room. I used to have awful dreams where I would enter that specific room only to see a dark shadow staring at me.
Shit.
It was a tall shadow. It seemed like a man, but I never saw his face since his whole being was just pitch black.
God damn.
I would close the door to my room since my parents' room was in front of mine and I could easily see their room from my bed. One night, I woke up from what seemed like a dreamless sleep, feeling that someone was staring at me. At first, I couldn't see anything. But after my eyes got used to the dark, I saw two things. First, my door was open, which wasn't normal since I always closed it at night. And second, there was the shadow I often saw in my nightmares. This time, it wasn't in my parents' room. It was in front of my room, just staring at me.
Damn.
I was so scared. I couldn't break eye contact with it, and
Well, shit. You gotta break something. Fucking break out the Adidas or some shit. And why are you just frozen like that? Get out of that state. Get out of that. Oh, get out of that. Get out of that and get out that room and get out the house and just go. Just go. I don't care where you go, but anywhere is better than a place you at right now.
what seemed like hours, finally the shadow stopped staring at me and walked to my brother's room. After that, I can't remember when I got back to sleep, but only remember waking up, and since then, everything seemed normal.
Close it. Close your
I
blinds.
thought it was only a nightmare and brushed it off.
Curtains.
A couple years later, my family and I moved to another state, but we kept the house as a place to visit during the holidays.
My ass.
One day, my uncle had a nasty fight with his wife, and he asked my parents if he could stay at our old house for some time. My parents said yes. So he temporarily moved there for a while. And one day, we visited him for the holidays, and while we were talking, he asked me if I had ever dreamt of creepy shadows in front of my room. My parents laughed, since they knew nothing of what I had seen.
Yeah. Or them bitches can be in cahoots. Don't ever rule out nobody. I don't care how close they are to you. Just because they're your parents does not mean they're not in cahoots.
Stayed quiet. That night, I talked to my uncle and explained to him what I had seen and what I thought was a nightmare.
It's him.
I was really scared since I had told no one about that nightmare. He listened to me, and after a while, he explained he had seen the same thing just staring at my room.
Oh, yeah.
After that, my uncle talked to my parents, and we never visited that house again. My uncle moved back with his wife, and after a religious ceremony to cleanse it, my parents put the house in the market. However, to this day, the house remains unsold.
I would hope so.
Even though the shadow never hurt any of us physically, I still panic whenever I remember how that thing stared at me, how I felt that there was nothing I could do against it. I don't think I'll ever forget that.
And because you're clucked for life, make sure you got some Adidas condoms with you at all times. I mean, it makes sense because you're clucked for life. Okay? Yeah, I mean, there it is. I already said it. Case closed. Ain't nothing much more for me to talk about. You know, you had plenty of opportunities to haul an ass, but you didn't. And so, yeah. You had plenty of time to haul ass, but now he's on your ass for your entire life. And cluck both of your parents. Because them bitches was in cahoots. And your uncle. And probably your brother. Just saying, you know. Because I feel like you live in a cluck family. You know. So So I mean, shit. Oh. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, and I would hope nobody else lives in that house or like buys that house because it's literally in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by woods and mountains. You, I mean, you're just asking for whoever goes into the house to be clucked. So you know what? You should have just like destroyed it. Teared it down. What's that big ass ball that's on a crane or something? And it's huge as hell. It's a metal ball, and it's just it. I guess you use it to like crush stuff and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like it's on a crane, I guess, and it's a big ass ball, and it's just I guess you use it to like destroy buildings and stuff. But I don't know what you call that, but you should have had one of those to destroy that house because it's not a chance in hell nobody would ever buy, rent, or stay at that house for any reason. If you do, you are, I don't know why I said it like that, you are definitely a sus mother clucker. Just saying. But lady, girl, you are clucked for life. And that's on you. Jesus. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy. My family.